Ever wonder how plants turn sunlight into the energy that fuels life on Earth? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of photosynthesis, specifically the light-dependent reactions that power this incredible process. Spoiler alert: it involves some seriously cool chemistry, excited electrons, and a bit of molecular teamwork that's nothing short of a microscopic dance party. Hello and welcome to the Coco Note podcast. I'm your host, Coco. Today we're talking about the magic behind photosynthesis, how plants capture light energy and convert it into chemical energy, focusing on the light-dependent reactions and the pigments that make it all possible. Let's start with the basics: pigments. You know, those colorful molecules in leaves that give plants their green, yellow, and orange hues? They're not just for show. Each pigment absorbs light at specific wavelengths, kind of like how your favorite radio station tunes into a particular frequency. Chlorophyll A, for example, loves light in the mid to upper 400 nanometer range and again around 660 nanometers. Chlorophyll B peaks a bit differently, around 470 to 480 and near 620 nanometers. Then there are carotenoids, which have their own unique absorption peaks near 450 nanometers. These absorption peaks are called absorption spectra, and they're like molecular fingerprints. Chemists use spectrophotometers to identify substances by shining light through them and seeing which wavelengths get absorbed. It's like a detective tool for molecules. But here's the twist. In a leaf, all these pigments hang out together, so instead of looking at individual absorption spectra, scientists look at the action spectrum, the overall pattern of light wavelengths that actually drive photosynthesis. This action spectrum has two main peaks, one around 424-30 nanometers and another in the upper 600s, showing us where plants get the most bang for their light buck. Now, photosynthesis happens in two main stages: light-dependent and light-independent reactions. The light-dependent reactions, as the name suggests, need light to get going. When sunlight hits the chlorophyll molecules, it excites their electrons. Think of it like giving them a double espresso shot. These energized electrons then jump to a higher energy state and get passed along to other molecules, kind of like a hot potato game, but with electrons. But wait, what happens when chlorophyll loses these electrons? It can't just run out, right? Nope. Plants cleverly replace those lost electrons by splitting water molecules in a process called photolysis. This not only replenishes electrons, but also releases oxygen, the very oxygen we breathe. So next time you take a deep breath, thank a plant for splitting some water molecules. As these electrons travel through a chain of molecules, the electron transport chain, they release energy. This energy is used to pump hydrogen ions across a membrane, creating a sort of molecular battery. When these hydrogen ions flow back across the membrane through a special enzyme, ATP synthase, it powers the production of ATP, the energy currency of the cell. This whole process of using a hydrogen ion gradient to make ATP is called chemiosmosis. Fancy word, right? But it's just nature's way of turning a flow of particles into usable energy. Meanwhile, some electrons get passed to a coenzyme called NADP+, which grabs them along with a hydrogen ion to become NADPH. Both ATP and NADPH are like loaded batteries, ready to power the next stage of photosynthesis, of the light-independent reactions, where carbon dioxide gets turned into glucose. Now, here's a fun fact. The light-dependent reactions involve two photosystems, creatively named photosystem I and photosystem II. Photosystem II kicks things off by exciting electrons in a chlorophyll molecule called P680, named for its peak absorption at 680 nanometers. It's a powerhouse that pulls electrons from water. Then, after a wild ride down the electron transport chain, those electrons get re-energized in photosystem I, which has a chlorophyll called P700, absorbing light at 700 nanometers. There are two pathways these electrons can take: non-cyclic and cyclic electron transport. In the non-cyclic path, electrons end up reducing NADP+ to NADPH, moving forward in the process. In the cyclic path, electrons loop back to photosystem I, pumping more hydrogen ions and making extra ATP without producing NADPH or oxygen. It's like a little energy booster round when the plant needs more ATP. So, to sum it up, light hits the pigments, Electrons get excited and passed along. Water gets split to replace those electrons. Oxygen is released. Hydrogen ions get pumped to create a gradient. ATP and NADPH are made. And all this energy is prepped for the next phase where carbon dioxide becomes sugar. Isn't it amazing how plants have evolved such a sophisticated system to harness sunlight? Next time you see a leaf, remember it's not just green. It's a tiny solar panel, a chemical factory, and a life-giving powerhouse all rolled into one. For more, visit coconote.app to see the full summary or create more Coconote podcasts. As always, it's a wonderful thing to have the privilege to use your brain and learn something new. I'm your host, Coco,